Damn it, Denver Nuggets beat my Warriors even though they didn't have Joker. That is an alarm for me. Speaking of alarms, I missed all of mine. So did my wife. So we're both late running here, but we are here and we're ready to go. We were,
We sound that late.
Yeah. I'll give you props for that.
I've been here for almost an hour.
I've been here too, just doing other things. All right.
Like sleeping?
No, actually not sleeping. I got 2 interviews to tape today, and I got March Madness to get ready for tonight. Oh, and we got something big in the works in reference to that. We'll tell you all about it as we go along. But for right now, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, Golden State has arrived. Let's go.
They have. Yes, they have. And they're going to put fear in everybody in the Western Conference. Let's go.
Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up? Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh yeah! My voice is cracking.
Oh my god.
What has you cracking up this morning?
Because your voice is gone.
Oh, my voice is dead.
Oh yeah! There you go.
And nah. Oh yeah! There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Remember, I just drank some water before I came on air. Good morning. Welcome, one and all, to the Taco Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have you all with us. This first hour is powered by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. The dog is off until next Monday, but the droid is here. How you doing, my man?
I mean, I'm doing good. You know, I am playing as the next MJ in a 2K.
Nice.
I'm dropping 50 on the Bucks, basically 50% of the points, and almost as much points as the Bucks themselves.
You know what?
That's animal abuse,
the
sir.
score right now is 100 to 50
That's animal abuse. That's animal abuse, sir.
Listen, Michael Jordan did that in real life, okay?
That's
No,
animal
this
abuse.
is
You don't go beating around bucks like that.
He leads the league in three-point percentage, leads the league in field goal percentage, tied Wilt Chamberlain's single game scoring record.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a reenactment of how us Chicagoans were spoiled for 13 years.
We were.
And now I'm spoiling Houston Mafia for years to come.
I love it.
Unless they get traded to the Kings, foreshadowing.
Listen, I'll say it again. What Droid is reenacting is something that us Chicagoans, and I know I speak for Victor and many, many others, got spoiled with for 13 years. Like I said,
massively spoiled.
And the thing is, you want to know something funny?
What's that?
This is the rookie year.
Listen, look. We saw that rookie year. You know, especially the reason I got into broadcasting is because of Game 3 against, oddly enough, the Milwaukee Bucks in 1985.
What upsets me is that I could have broken Wilt's record if I didn't get subbed off in the fourth. Because I think the score was like, what, 152 to 90?
Oh, game in hand.
And Enrique Uduka was like, no, come on, dude, you're just killing him.
Yep.
Look, I told you. Now I keep saying it. What Droid is doing is a reenactment of what we got spoiled with for 13 years.
Take a guess at what number I'm wearing. It's not 23.
45? What number are you wearing? 2.
Do you know why I'm wearing 2?
Why is that?
Because I'm better than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
You know what? I will not argue with that point. I will not argue with that. I don't believe, since we're talking NBA and since people want to hear my opinion on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, here it is. He ain't the MVP this year.
I don't think he's the MVP. I'm not saying, like, I know you're not saying that he isn't a good player, because he is. He's definitely
he is. He's dynamite. He's dynamite. But I will tell you,
like, every three, every crossover, it reminds me of like D Wade. He has a very D Wade play style.
Yeah.
And that's why I love Shai. But he's not MVP this year. No. I think MVP is going to go to the Serbian and Nikola Jokic.
I got an even wilder candidate for MVP.
Who's that?
Is it Wardell Stephen Curry?
I'll tell you like this.
Oh, boy.
What Droid said was absolutely correct. My candidate for MVP wears number 30, and it's Wardell Stephen Curry II. Why am I making this argument for Steph to be MVP? Take a close look. He got re-energized when Jimmy Butler showed up. I mean, he had an off game last night, and Steve Kerr is considering resting him tonight against Milwaukee. And I think the Warriors will just trounce Milwaukee. All right.
I mean, it's Milwaukee, so they better.
But I'll tell you, the Warriors got a wake-up call after losing to Denver last night. But this is about Steph Curry winning his 3rd MVP award. And I will put it in a simple sentence. If you remove Stephen Curry from the lineup, you get what you get with the Warriors in 2020 and 21. And you get the Warriors that were knee-deep in you-know-what earlier this year.
There needs to be someone to step up. This will probably be Gene Butler's like real get-up game. This is going to be his game to step in.
I'm going to tell you something. One of the biggest problems in the league right now is Stephen Curry. Why? Because he's too good.
Yeah. Hey, look, you get no argument from me.
Basketball is an extension of his own body.
You get no
it's Curry's world, and we're just living in it.
Literally.
Listen, you get no argument from me.
But I have something to talk about in terms of last night.
Okay.
And it's the fact that the Rockets got taken to overtime by a G League team.
Philadelphia.
I was gonna go through the scores, but yeah,
We'll go through the
after
scores.
that.
We'll go through the scores.
But
there was no Kyle Lowry, no Joel Embiid, no Paul George, no Andre Drummond, no Kelly Oubre, no Tyrese Maxey, no Jared McCain.
Hold on to all of that, Droid. Hold on to all.
Everybody that was good was injured.
Droid, hold on to all of that, okay? Trust me, you're going to have your shot. But again, and I'll wrap this up before we go to a break. If you remove Stephen Curry from the Warriors lineup, you got a whole bunch of problems. Steph Curry has been re-energized. My voice is about to go again.
I think if you take Draymond Green and Steph out of the lineup, you're gonna have problems because it's obvious that Draymond and Steph work well together,
and they're working great with Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm.
They're working great with Jimmy Butler. They just lost
last night. Jokic had y'all's number.
Yeah,
Jokic has everyone's number.
Actually, no, he wasn't even playing last night. I think it was Porter.
It was Michael Porter Jr. who killed us last night.
MPJ.
Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon.
You know something? I wouldn't mind losing to those guys. They're a superior team. Very superior. They're 19 games above 500. We're only 10 above 500. But you know something? When the Warriors get rested and completely healthy, and they're still holding on to that 6th spot in the Western Conference because the Wolves lost last night.
Mm-hmm.
Look out. Because that 6th spot is very coveted.
I'm happy.
The 6th spot is very coveted.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not far from gaining the 5 spot.
Yeah.
But last night was a crucial loss, and the Warriors were just off last night. It happens.
And as of yesterday, the Pelicans and the Jazz have been eliminated from playoff contention, including the Wizards are about a game away from being out of playoff contention as well. So are the Hornets.
So I end with this. The Warriors are back, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
And as plays by CJ say, Warriors to finals. That was my prediction at the top of the season. And given how they're playing now, 14-2 since Butler arrived, I'm sticking with it. Unless they prove me wrong, I will stick with my prediction of Warriors Celtics for the World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see none of these other Western Conference teams taking them out, including Denver.
No. Winter Storm Watch. Oh.
That's Snowman's take. What's yours?
You know, I thought it was spring.
Storm.
I thought finally, we're in spring. It's a nice warm time of the year.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 70.
Today it's 69 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
We have a fire weather warning, basically a red flag warning, a wind advisory, and a winter storm watch for Wednesday.
Oh god,
it's tomorrow.
Yikes.
But I want to talk about the Houston Rockets. They are currently above.
Hang on tight. Let's take our first break, and when we come back, the droid has the floor, and he's about to go off on the Rockets. Losing to it, having a G League team like the Philadelphia 76ers taking the overtime. The droid has the floor next. This is Snowman in the Morning. We're back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to the Fanatics feedback zone very quickly. Ryan McCarthy, the first one in, says, my MVP wears number 63 and his name is Jesper Bratt. Wait, wrong sport. Carry on.
Do y'all want to go through scores first and then let Droid rip up the Rockets?
All right. Let's
real quick.
Scores.
Real quick, we go to the scores of what happened last night, the day that was. Knicks over the Heat, 116-95. Pistons over the Pelicans, 127-81. The Rockets, as you're about to hear Droid rip into them, took an entire overtime to take down the 76ers, 144-137 with the score there. Pacers beat the Timberwolves, 132-130 in a thriller. The Bulls take over the Jazz, 111-97. The Kings beat the Grizzlies, 132-122. The Raptors lose to the Suns, 129-89. The Trailblazers beat the Wizards, 112-97. The Nuggets over the Warriors, 114-105 in a thriller. And the Lakers, beat the Spurs, 125-109. That's the scores that were. Droid, take it away.
Where do we even start? Well, let's turn off this fan because we don't need cool air when it's about to get super hot. All right, it ain't gonna help. I got Ime Udoka as coach of the year.
No.
Coach of the year,
No.
yeah, he cannot be a G League team in regulation.
I already know who my coach of the year is.
We all know who your coach is going to be.
It's not Steve Kerr. It's not. It's not Steve Kerr. I'm sorry.
Well, as long as Ime Udoka doesn't worry about cheating, I guess then he's going to be able to.
I think the coach of the year is going to go to Mark Daignault, I think his name is, coach of OKC.
Why?
How can he not be? As a Rockets fan myself, barely winning against a G League team, barely beating the Bulls, can't even score 100 on the Magic, getting clapped by not only the Kings, but also the Thunder and the Pacers, losing to the Brooklyn Nets twice.
Got caught in the shadow realm, baby.
And we lost to the Detroit Pistons.
I wouldn't sneeze at the Detroit Pistons.
And they got clapped by the Warriors early in the season.
I wouldn't sneeze at, I wouldn't blow my nose on the Detroit Pistons.
Me neither.
They've gotten better.
After the game,
What about the Portland Trailblazers?
The Portland Trailblazers, what did we say last year, Snowman? To the NBA Cup with you.
The NBA Cup with you.
And we even lost to the Hornets.
Yeah, figure that one out.
Losing
the Hornets? Did I hear that right?
You're basing your whole argument. Give me off one game. Come on. I'm giving you multiple. Are you even listening? Listen, he's not going to be coach of the year because you gotta look also at the NFL. Did they give what was their name? Coach that did they give Raheem Morris coach of the year for bringing Atlanta back? No, they did not. Atlanta finally became a good team. They did not give I don't even think he was nominated for coach of the year.
No, he wasn't.
Let's be realistic. The NBA does not see the Rockets as marketable.
They never have.
They're going to give the coach of the year to a team like OKC, maybe even Steve Kerr, or even the Denver Nuggets.
So they're only going to give it to the top tier teams that were already going to be top tier teams anyway.
Nobody thought the Houston Rockets were going to be good this year. Nobody. I had a little bit of a thought because, Steve Adams is coming back. Ahmed Thompson also I thought was going to have a good year. Dylan Brooks is finally getting back in his footing. And just the minimum of injury this year has been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
JB Bickerstaff is a good contender as well. That is true.
I can agree with that.
But we need to be better than this. We can't be playing the way we did last night, allowing that stuff to happen, allowing ourselves to look like clowns.
I laugh because I've been there.
There's no way you're a Rocket fan and not proud of the team that you have considering last year y'all wasn't even thought about as a serious contender. I'm proud of the team. It's just recently it feels like we've been on a low.
It feels like,
including my Florida Panthers, we've been on a low.
It feels like it's an asterisk next to it because you're kind of like, man, they're doing well record wise, but we should be beating teams by much more.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like we should be a lot more dominant. I think we're like second in the West above the Nuggets, but that's just over tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like before this win streak that we're on now, we're on a 7-game win streak. I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, we were losing like back to back games, and it was getting really frustrating to even watch the team. But it's just now I feel like we're slowing down just so when the playoffs come, people will sleep on us. They won't expect much from us, so we can come out and smack them in the face.
What did I say, Snowman, when week 1 of the NFL season came about and the Cowboys beat the Browns? How do you win looking that average?
Yep.
Oh, yep. CJ, listen. Plays by CJ. Our West Finals prediction, my West Finals prediction was Rockets Nuggets. This man Brian's West Finals prediction was Warriors Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a more likely scenario is going to be Rockets Nuggets.
I can live with that.
It's really a three-way dance. It's really a three-way dance in the West between Rockets, Nuggets.
Whoever comes out of the play-in plays, I believe, the Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
And the Thunder are not a team to be like, of course, they're not a team to mess with or write off, but they just haven't been able to execute in the playoffs. So
exactly,
I can't really have the confidence that they're gonna make. I think they're definitely gonna make it past round 1. Definitely. I just think they're probably gonna run into the Rockets in round 2, or they're gonna run into a team like the Nuggets in round 2. I don't think they're gonna run into a team like the Grizzlies. Even the Grizzlies aren't nothing to snuff at, but if they get lucky, they'll face the Lakers in round 2, and they'll move on to the conference finals. That's if they get lucky.
Right.
Everybody said the same thing about the Celtics. I had a feeling the Celtics were going to do something just by the domination they were doing in the league.
Yeah.
But then, I'm not heated. It's just last night's game was hard to watch. And I hope tomorrow's game against the Magic will be better.
Was it because there was like a lot of fundamental missteps that you were seeing in that game?
I just think like the amount of turnovers, I think it was like 15 turnovers. And Philly had 16. It was the fact that we were even close to their number was ridiculous to me. But other than that, we had Jalen Green dropping 30. You had Smith Jr. dropping 30. You had Brooks dropping 25. You had Tyree Eason dropping 21.
To answer CJ's question, y'all don't have OKC? No.
Oh, this guy's just an OKC hater because he wants them to beat the Supersonics.
Well, that's a part of it, yes.
It's not a part of it. It is the reason. And
OKC is a false flag.
It is.
Yes, they look dominant now.
Yep.
They look good now. But what happens when it gets time for playoff time? They shrink.
Can they hold it
fall
together?
short.
Can they hold it together?
But I think Coach of the Year is going to go to the coach of the Pistons because they were dead last year, and now they're 6th in the conference.
I agree. I agree.
I'd say it goes to the Pistons coach. I don't think it's going to Ime Udoka. Like, just because we didn't make the playoffs, it was the fact we barely missed the playoffs last year. We barely were out. So just going from second isn't too surprising. But I see it more of going to either the Pistons head coach, Bulls head coach, any team that didn't were definitely out of the playoffs, especially the Pistons.
Yes.
I think, again, easy contender is Pistons head coach. And I think right now that's JB
Bickerstaff,
who he just mentioned earlier. He's probably the favorite to win Coach of the Year. I think second would be probably Ime Udoka could be a contender. Would be a contender, but then Kenny Atkinson would be also a good contender. Cleveland Cavaliers head coach.
Kenny Atkinson has done wonders with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have the Cavs reminding me of their Cavs team that was coached by Lenny Wilkins back in the late 80s.
The Larry Nance crew.
Larry Nance, Mark Price, Brad Daugherty, that crew.
I also think Tyronn Lue could be a good contender for Coach of the Year. Coach of the Clippers.
He could be.
because I believe the Clippers were barely in the play-in, and they got dominated. But now they're like a game away from being just in the playoffs.
Yeah,
not just the play-in, the playoffs.
They're a game
playoffs.
Playoffs.
Talking about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs.
The Thunder, the Cavaliers, and the Celtics have all clinched a spot in the playoffs already. It is now down to this last stretch of the season. JJ Redick probably won't win it, but he's a great basketball mind as well. He's definitely turned that Lakers team around. He's done something with that team. I don't know what, but he's done something.
Also helps if you get Luka at the mid-season.
Did you see what the Mavericks did in their promotional video? They blacked out Luka and covered him with the Mavericks logo.
Wow!
They blackened it, they did a blackened silhouette through the Mavericks logo over him. That's a tell that they were embarrassed.
That's petty. That's petty. But I do understand because it was a dumb trade that didn't need to be made. So it is
I have a feeling that the Mavs GM's son called the Lakers and made that trade.
Probably.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It certainly wasn't a Cuban decision.
No.
But, I think you should play my intro. The hockey god is here.
Oh, we got hockey talk too.
As a Mavericks fan, look at what CJ just said.
Thank you, CJ.
As a Mavericks fan and the Cowboys fan, it just gets harder every year.
Thank you, CJ.
But at the least, you still have the Dallas Stars, who are looking amazing this year. In the West, they are second in the Western Conference overall, second in the Central Division. With the Jets almost at 100 points, by the way. 100 points basically gets you a guaranteed spot in the playoffs. So they need to put that little check mark next to them.
I love
clinching a playoff berth.
I love the Stars, but the only issue I have is that they're always the bridesmaid, never the bride. It's they're always just there. They're always just there. They get knocked off by Vegas.
But the San Jose Sharks have been eliminated from playoff contention for the third year in a row, near bottom of the league. The only year that they weren't bottom of the league was when the Blackhawks were bottom of the league.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Panthers has lost 2 in a row to pretty strong opponents in the New York Islanders and the Montreal Canadiens, both teams fighting to get into that playoff spot, including the Canadiens, who are at 71 points, and the Rangers, who are at 72 points. The Canadiens are barely off that playoff berth. They have a game tonight against the Ottawa Senators, another team in the Atlantic that are trying to get in. The Atlantic goes Panthers, Lightning, Maple Leafs, Senators, Canadiens, Red Wings, Bruins, and Sabres. The Metro goes Capitals, Hurricanes, Devils, Rangers, Blue Jackets, Islanders, Penguins, and Flyers. The West Central goes Jets, Stars, Avs, Wild, Blues, Utah, Predators, and Blackhawks. And then the Pacific Division go Golden Knights, Oilers, Kings, Canucks, Flames, Ducks, Kraken, and Sharks, who are dead last at 45 points. 2 of the worst teams are in the West. That's what's crazy to me. And I think I need to get a graphic made where it's the surprise of the year is the Nashville Predators with 58 points currently out of the playoff picture after signing Jonathan Marchessault and Steven Stamkos in the free agency, making himself look like a powerhouse and then just not doing anything with it. That shows you that when you don't have the coaching to do it, you can't do it. But I think the biggest shocker this year is the Capitals. They weren't even in the playoffs last year. Now they're number 1 in the Metro. What do you think clicked for Washington this year, Brian?
Their attitude. Simply put, their attitude. They have the attitude they had when 2018 happened and they broke through and won the Stanley Cup and surprised Vegas. And Vegas was the heavy favorite. I think the Washington Capitals like being underdogs. They
are favorites to win the cup right now.
Yeah,
I think best odds are to the Panthers. Third best are to the Hurricanes, all Eastern Conference teams.
Well, they better keep playing like they're the underdogs. I'm looking at their attitude, and they're coming together at the right time. They just can't sit on it. Am I making sense? They just can't sit on the fact that they're not only playoff favorites but cup favorites.
Yeah,
keep proving it.
And that's what the Panthers were last year. I think it was around the time of the first round after that 4-1 series win over the Lightning is when people started to realize this Panthers team is back for revenge. It was like the whole George Kittle thing where he said, "I will be back, and I will be back with vengeance." And that's
was that the game that we called, Droid? The Lightning Panthers game that you're talking about?
It was the Lightning Panthers game in the regular season, but we didn't call it playoff games at all.
Oh, okay.
Last year, like every time we scheduled it, everything just couldn't come together. Brian was dealing with health issues. You know, it was just a whole lot of.
Last spring and summer, I had a whole bunch of health issues, but I'm nearly done with wound care. I'm working very hard to get my car back on the road. And I'm going to post my GoFundMe in the chat. If anybody can help with that, that would be totally and greatly appreciated.
But I think it's about time of the year where we start to look at trophy favorites. You have a lot of trophies in the NHL, so let's get a little list of trophies real quick while we talk about some possible favorites. The Maurice Richard is I believe, most points. You have the Art Ross, the Bill Masterson Memorial Trophy. You have the Selke. But we're going to take a look at the Art Ross, which is top point scorer right now. If you look at player stats and you go to points right now, the leader is Nathan McKinnon, just followed by Leon Draisaitl with 103 and 101 respectively. Connor McDavid is way out of that conversation. So right now, your top three candidates for that will be Nathan McKinnon, Leon Draisaitl, and Nikita Kucherov. The next one is Bill Masterson Memorial Trophy, which is awarded to the player with the most perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication. I couldn't think of one that's gonna win that one.
I couldn't think of one either.
Calder Memorial Trophy. I have a few, but I think last year Yura Slavkovsky got drafted. I'm not sure. I don't remember much from last year's draft. Last year's draft was
as you say best, last year's draft was a whole bowl of mid. That's not my saying, folks. That's George saying.
A bowl of mid.
It was a draft to forget and the Las Vegas Bowl, but I think the easiest Calder Trophy winner is going to go to what's his name, Macklin Celebrini. For the Sharks, despite being on the worst team, he's probably one of the best players right now. The Frank J. Selke Trophy goes to the top defensive forward. I think that's going to go to either Sam Reinhart or Alexander Barkov of the Florida Panthers. That's not just bias. That's not bias. That's just truthful.
Yeah.
The Jack Adams Award goes to Coach of the Year, basically the coach that persevered his team through everything and anything. And I think it's pretty easy who that's going to go to. You thinking the same thing? I'm thinking the same thing. Spencer Carberry, I think, will win Coach of the Year.
Yep.
The Jack Adams Award for taking the Capitals from one of the worst teams in the league to one of the best teams. And the MVP of the regular season, I think, Matthews is a good argument. He's been playing well this year. But I think the MVP is going to go to I think it's going to go to Vincent Trocheck. It could go to Leon Draisaitl. Recently, Jesper Bratt's been playing well, but right now I think the possible MVP is going to go to Leon Draisaitl. The James Norris Memorial Trophy goes to top defenseman of the year, and there's a lot of good defensemen this year, but I think he finally should earn this. He's been playing his heart out for the Florida Panthers. I think this needs to go to Gustav Forsling, or it could go to Adam Fox of the New York Rangers, starting to find his footing. Or you can even argue Arbor Jacki of the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
But I think this actually is going to go to Josh Morrissey of the Winnipeg Jets. The GM of the year, I think that's got to go to whoever runs the table at Washington, or I think it could go to Bill Zito, general manager of the Florida Panthers, for pulling off that ridiculous trade against Boston. That ridiculous trade with Boston. That shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened, but it did happen.
It did happen. Brad Marchand is a Florida Panther.
The Vesna, that's going to Connor Hellebuck easily.
Poor Shane.
That's easily going to Hellebuck. Maurice Rocket Richard. The Rocket Richard trophy goes to the player with the most goals of the year. And right now, Leon Draisaitl has a pretty hefty lead in that race with 49 goals, almost 11 more than the next closest, which is William Nylander. So I think Leon Draisaitl could go 3 for 3. The Ted Lindsay Award is the most outstanding player as voted by the NHL Players Association. So that's completely up to the players. I cannot say anything about that one. The Willie O'Ree Community Hero Award, that's voted by the fans of different teams, about people in their about their community and people in their community. But and then of course you got the Clarence S. Campbell Bowl. Who do you think wins the West, Brian?
For me, all eyes are on Vegas. Vegas is going to find their footing and race to the cup, because the year they did win it, not many were talking about them. In fact, they were talking about Vegas in a negative fashion. I think Vegas puts it together and wins the cup.
I think it's going to be the Dallas Stars finally overcoming their demons of the West Finals and finally getting themselves to a Stanley Cup final. And then, of course, the next one would be the Prince of Wales Trophy, which goes to the winner of the Eastern Conference Final. I know I would be biased by saying the Panthers, but I'm actually going to say that the Panthers aren't going to make it to the conference final just based off of morale issues.
The team I have winning the Wales Conference is Washington.
They're going to win the President's Trophy, and we all know what happens with President's Trophy winners.
Which brings us first to a break, and secondly, also poses a trivia question. I'll let y'all think about this while we're at a break.
Mm-hmm.
But first, we got to close this out the right way.
Speaking of leave today,
Hockey God Today is presented by Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
I believe the Stars take on the Ducks tonight.
Yeah, that's a mid game. I think the game to watch tonight is going to be Red Wings Capitals.
I believe that. I have a trivia question for y'all to sit on, and it goes like this. Who was the last team to win the President's Trophy and that same year win the Stanley Cup?
Oh, I know this one easily.
Yeah.
So do I. Let's take a break. We'll have the answer to the question after an interview with my good buddy Joe Pott, the voice of SIU Edwardsville. Y'all are going to enjoy that. Snowman in the morning, back when I get my voice back and back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family. So the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BT in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meat beef of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light-optimizing lenses that block blue rays, so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Someone very special that I wanted to have for a mic-to-mic chat for a long time. Couldn't do it because my health got in the way, then our schedules got in the way. But this morning, he's here. And we're going to talk right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my dear friend, a very dear friend, and the voice of SIU Edwardsville, and they're going dancing for the first time, Mr. Joe Pott. Joe, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, man, it's great to hear from you. It's, like you said in the intro, we keep having different reasons why we couldn't get it together, and so now finally we're doing it, and that's fantastic.
It's wonderful. I listened to your call of SIU Edwardsville closing out, punching their ticket to the dance, and you've done this for many years, as have I. When a moment like that happens, the rules go out the window because it's your team achieving the impossible.
Yeah, it really is. So many people have asked me just about it and whether I was thinking about it, scripted, whatever. And obviously it's been in the brain, right? You think about these things, but the last thing I ever wanted to do was script it. I don't script anything during play-by-play. I think that takes away from what, you and I are doing when we're doing play-by-play, right? Because the beauty of it is we don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. We're describing it in the moment. So I am happy that captured, what it was feeling like in the moment. And you're right. It was for me, just having been here for 17 years, the entire time that SIUE has been at the Division I level, it kind of all came out. And like I said, I'm happy with the way it sounded. I could pick it apart and say, oh, I should have said this or I shouldn't have said that. But, ultimately I feel good about it.
Who was the broadcaster that you looked up to that gave you the feeling of, hey, if they can do this, I can do this?
That's a good question. I think certainly an influence was Jack Buck here in St. Louis on radio, so many years for the Cardinals. And again, another guy who, at least in most of how I knew him, and obviously did a lot of national stuff on CBS radio and Monday Night Football forever, some national baseball. But what I knew him as was the voice of the Cardinals. And as the voice of the Cardinals, I mean, that was how he was. He was very much, right there with his team. And then that's the way he called games. I remember his Hall of Fame speech. He mentions everything's great, but he wishes he could be, on the road with his team because they were playing, and that was just what it was. And for guys of my age, I heard much more on radio than I did on TV back in those days when I was young, certainly as a kid. So just his radio broadcasting certainly was a huge influence on me.
I loved listening to Jack Buck. As you said, he did Monday Night Football forever. That was the real first voice of Monday Night Football that I heard. And for the time that he did, for a couple times that he wasn't able to do it, Brent Musburger took his place. That's another influence. But my big influence comes in the form of Jim Durham, former Chicago Bulls announcer. When I heard him for the first time on radio, and this was before he teamed with Johnny Kerr, when I heard him for the first time on radio, that got me hooked. And I said, I asked my dad if I could have a cassette tape. And my dad said, what are you doing? I said, I'm taping the Bulls game. He said, how are you going to? And then he thought about it for a moment, and he got me the cassette tape I wanted, and I wore it out. Taping every Bulls game that I can.
It's true, right? And that, like, when broadcasters and play-by-play guys, when they make you feel that emotionally, and they make you feel everything that you'd be feeling if you were sitting in the stands and watching, that means they're doing something right. And so when, like you said, when Jim Durham makes you, man, I need to go get a tape. I'm going to record this. I want to keep this. I want to listen to it 100 times until the tape wears out. That's a big deal.
Oh man, I can't tell you how many tapes I've worn out taping Bulls games. My dad, my mom, first of all, caught me with her tape recorder and said, "Don't you ever touch this again." My dad came upstairs and said, he won't be touching it again. Trust me. He got me sneakily got me a recorder. And then the time I got busted using my mom's recorder, he comes in and sneaks in a brick this big of audio tapes and said, use these and hone your craft.
Yeah, it's great.
Man, I can't tell you how many, even up to his last call when the Bulls won the championship in 1991. That's a call that I will have forever and treasure forever. But Jim Durham's one. We mentioned Jack Buck, Vin Scully, another one for me, because Vin did baseball on CBS radio for a time. But you don't get more old school than the names that we mentioned during this conversation.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, those are guys that, for, like we said, the rate. The national TV was doing maybe a game of the week or something like that, but it wasn't like every night you could just turn on the TV and see all this. You were hearing it on radio, and if you wanted to hear every night, every game, you were going to the radio.
Exactly. But then the Bulls introduced something to me that, I and quite a few others started to bring back, and that's the simulcast. Because in '86, the Bulls moved to WMAQ, and then the sports division was introduced to me, which means I get a lot more of Jim Durham. And here in the 21st century, in many ways, the simulcast is starting to come back, especially with people having access to YouTube. But if you listen to some of these announcers that do it, you can tell they're just practicing their craft, and they're just getting started with this new technology.
Yeah, I like actually what Major League Soccer has done. And so if you're watching on the Apple Pass, whatever, Apple TV Pass, they actually have an option. You can tune into the home broadcaster. So you can hear the national broadcast, or you can tune into your local home broadcast. And I think people like to hear that. They want to hear their guy, their girl, whoever, their broadcaster calling the game.
Yeah, I love having that option, and I get that option when I subscribe to MLB.
Right,
to listen to the home broadcast or the road broadcast. I always choose my broadcast team.
That's right,
for the teams that I follow, including the Giants, the Astros, the Cardinals. Love listening to the Cardinals because one of my other influences is the radio voice of the Cardinals, Mr. John Rooney. And I happened to meet him in 2005 at Sox Fest. And the greatest advice that he gave me is something that my dad repeated to me. He said, just be yourself.
Yeah, John's great. I get to work pretty closely with John during the summers, during the Cardinals season, and just an outstanding broadcaster, great guy. Like you said, I've talked to him so much about broadcasting stuff over the years. And for sure, one of those voices that now, after 20 plus years, is intricately connected to the Cardinals and Cardinals fans.
That's where one of the places where he got started. He worked a year in Minnesota, won a World Series, worked 18 years with the White Sox. Of course, the World Series in 2005. Now he's back with the Cardinals. A very, very influential voice, especially since a few years ago they lost another influential voice in Mike Shannon.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that was, when I say Jack Buck, those years were Jack Buck and Mike Shannon for me. That's what I heard all growing up. And obviously then Mike lasted even longer after Jack passed away, and got to work a little bit with Mike as well, which was great. And again, just an absolute treasure in St. Louis for that exact reason that you mentioned, that here's a guy that is just, I mean, he basically is a fan in the booth calling the games. I mean, it was his funny language and some of his, Shannonisms, as we call them here in St. Louis, and just absolutely endeared himself to Cardinals fans throughout the years.
He's going dancing with the SIUE Cougars. This is Joe Pott, my dear friend, joining us for a session of Mike to Mike. Joe, thank you very much. I love you, buddy, and I can't wait to hear your call for this tournament.
It's going to be fun. It's been really exciting leading up to it, and now they know, where they'll be, and if they can be a giant killer, we shall see. But it's been great, man.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you, and we'll definitely have to do it again. We'll this time we won't wait so long.
We won't. Thanks, man.
Thanks, pal.
Now I'm getting excited to call games again. We're back in a minute.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BT in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meat beef of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back and in our 30th year of action. With live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service, we got it all. And when you sign up today and use the code SNOWMAN, you will get a 125% deposit match on your deposit. Log on to BETUS.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Attention sports fans, looking for the ultimate gear and apparel to show your team pride? Look no further than Fanatics, the #1 destination for sports enthusiasts. Visit snowmanmultimediasports.com today and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams and players. From jerseys to hats to accessories to collectibles, Fanatics has it all. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your game day experience. Head over to snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
It's no secret. Today's consumer wants convenience and likes things on the go. They want to be listened to and receive instant solutions to their queries. This can often make or break the customer service experience. That's why it makes convenient interactions easy for you. Whether your customers want to connect with you via text, Facebook Messenger, Google, Instagram, or website, all messages now come to the one easy-to-use inbox, so you don't have to check a dozen different sites from the platform. From here, you can send SMS or email, answer questions, schedule appointments, take payments, and close more deals simply by messaging back and forth with your customers. When someone searches for a business like yours, they will look at your reviews. So unless you have more positive reviews, they'll choose someone else. Luck makes it easy to collect hundreds or even thousands of reviews from your customers. Simply send a review invitation or create automation that requests customer reviews right after the sale, or maybe right after a service is completed. It will take them 30 seconds or less to leave the review. Now those reviews will show up on the search result and increase your ranking that matters most. Plus, our advanced reporting will show you exactly where your leads are coming from and if your website or ads are doing their job. So why are you waiting? Put your business way in front of your competitors, get more leads, convert more of those leads to paying customers by getting started with today.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
There we go. Hold on. I can't hear anybody.
Maybe this will maybe this will do it.
There we go. Okay.
I forgot I pushed the button during halftime.
You pushed the wrong button.
I pushed the wrong button. Joy, what are you drinking?
Pepsi.
Cherry Pepsi. I might have to grab one after the show today.
All right.
For the Fanatics feedback zone, the big dog checks in, says, showed a friend the Paul Allen Vikings Christmas where we got the idea for ours. All he did was laugh and then said ours was better. Nice. This year we'll have to make them public. Oh, dear God.
Oh, man.
Oh, dear God. Because we got a quick explanation about that. I played it for the guys. Paul Allen's original 12 Days of Christmas, the very first one he did. I think what got Victor was 5 bleeping wins.
Yeah. Like 5 bleeping wins, because you could hear his
disdain,
his disdain and his frustration boil over once that came out.
And then you hear at the end, you hear Adrian Peterson, we got too many men out there.
Right.
No. Oh, Jesus. We will make them public. I have to find the recordings we did. Because we did what, 3 of them?
Yeah. We did 3 of them.
Yeah, we did 3 of them. I don't know where I put them. We'll find them.
Someone asked me about an opinion. I don't know if I really want to bring it up because I think you guys have already covered this story. If not, I don't know if you want to.
Okay.
It's the Aaliyah Everett situation. You guys heard about this, right?
Is she the track runner?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I heard about it, and she should go to jail.
Now we're hearing that there is a lot of support for her.
Yep.
And mainly because people have been calling her ghetto, and basically it's become more of a race situation.
Of course it is.
Now,
but I'm not touching it.
I'm just going to say this. She should be ashamed of herself.
Not only that, she should be in jail. Period, point blank, end of story.
Because the story that came out was the fact that she was running and the girl, Kaylin Tucker, was next to her. And as they're running, her arm got caught under the baton. And so to try and relieve it, she lost her balance. And that's what caused a hit her in the back of the head.
No. I took a look at that video 100 times. There was intent behind that strike.
She tomahawked her.
She did.
She tomahawked her in the back of the head with the baton. And I'm like, it should never get this serious in any
It
sport.
really shouldn't.
Especially in high school. It should never get this serious.
It really shouldn't.
To where you go and you tomahawk anybody in the back of the head with a baton.
That's
now
not cool at
the
all.
pundits are trying to make this a racial situation.
Of course they are. Which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And it's the stupidest thing in 2025 that people are still making issues like that about race and not about the action they're in.
And the thing is, both girls were black.
Bingo.
Kaylin Tucker is also a black girl. Just like Aaliyah Everett is a black girl.
Once again.
And the fact that the parents,
bingo.
The fact that the parents are going in on this bothers me. Because the parents should be grown up saying, no, we're going to have her apologize for what she did. And they said that they wanted to reach out to Kaylin Tucker and she's not receptive. I'm like, of course she's not.
Look, I wouldn't either. Would you in that situation?
You clocked me in the back of the head and I suffered a concussion. No.
Like I said, would you reach out in that situation? Let me answer that for you. Hell no. You know what? I'll do you one better. Bishop Bullwinkle, would you accept her calls without an apology present?
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
Now this will
exactly.
This will be as fair as I'm going to be to Aaliyah Everett. She is trying to apologize. It's going to take time, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take time because you tomahawked her in the back of the head during a race and she got a concussion. It's going to take some time. That wound's not going to heal up as quickly as, like, you know, a foul during a crucial game.
Right.
A flagrant foul during a crucial game. They'll probably have some hard feelings for maybe about a couple weeks, but they'll come back and say, nah, it's all good. This may take some months.
Yeah.
Because she has a concussion.
Listen, I've had a concussion. I had my head split open when I landed on ice trying to do a hockey game.
Yeah.
I've had concussions. Those sumbitches hurt.
So you want my opinion? Here's my opinion. Aaliyah Everett, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You let the frustrations of the race blind you, and you end up hitting your fellow competitor, which is what you should never do.
Never.
And also, parents, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves too, because you guys are trying to make this whole thing about race, about people sending you death threats. She should not be getting death threats first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
She should not be getting death threats.
Not at all.
Okay. Maybe saying I'm disappointed in you, I'm mad at you, yes, but death threats, no.
Death threats are not necessary.
But
I'll tell you what is necessary. It's time for us to make some picks.
Oh yeah, bracket time.
And it is bracket time. And Droid, where do you want to start?
He sounds like he's not ready for this.
What the hell is that for?
I'm looking at the
Hold on. Let me see.
all the trashy stuff that's just gonna end with us picking all 1 seeds.
Maybe not.
It's not a maybe, it's truth.
Yeah.
It's truth. Oh boy.
It usually happens.
We're starting the South.
All right. We will start in the South Division. The number 1 seed is Auburn. They'll face the winner of Alabama State and St. Francis of PA. Who cares? Going with Auburn. Go ahead, Droid.
I don't even need to say much.
Nope. Not much to say about that game.
Nope.
Victor?
Yeah, same way.
Now, here's an interesting matchup, and this is one I think I'm going to do this one.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't thought about it, but I think I'll do this one as I'm trying to get my schedule together beginning tonight. Oh, brother. This is one where I need Dr. K to help me. 8th seeded Louisville against 9th seeded Creighton. This is a toss-up for me.
No, it's not. Creighton.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna go Creighton. I'm gonna go Creighton.
I'll sweep it. We're going with Creighton. Michigan at 5, the 5 seed versus 12 seed UC San Diego. Droid, your thoughts?
UC San Diego has just been a better team overall. Michigan has had a pretty mid year, only going 25-9 in the overall with a 14-6 conference record. While UC San Diego dominated their conference, I think UC San Diego pulls off the 12-5 upset.
Okay,
I'll lean the same way. I don't trust Michigan's inconsistency, even though they are the Big Ten tournament champions. I don't trust their inconsistency. Coming in at 25-9, they lost some games where they should not have lost. I'm going with UC San Diego out of the Big West.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next game is 4 Texas A&M versus 13 Yale. Currently, Yale's on a 3-game winning streak in their conference with wins over Cornell, Princeton, and Brown. Texas A&M is 2-1 in their last 3, beating Texas, LSU, and Auburn. I think it's pretty obvious who we're going to pick here. I got Texas A&M.
I have Texas A&M also.
I have Texas A&M. Like I said, we shouldn't sleep on the Ivy League schools, but this one, I don't think they have it in them to take down A&M.
No.
Next up is number 6, Ole Miss versus the winner of San Diego State in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
You know what?
That's a toughie.
I think if it's North Carolina, this is going to be close. But if it's San Diego State, Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm looking the same way, and I actually would say if it's UNC, I might actually go UNC over Ole Miss. But if it's San Diego, then it's gonna be Ole Miss all the way.
I think we just go Ole Miss here,
and I'm doing that game tonight. San Diego State and North Carolina.
Okay.
For sentimental reasons and for reasons of getting reps in before. Oh, I got a big announcement for y'all. Royston Gibbs, what is up? If you like what we are doing, then I ask a favor. If y'all could help Old Snowman and his family via Cash App, there's the Cash App tag right there. For those of you on the radio, the Cash App sign is $$ Tallman Dr. K50. And I thank you, Royston Gibbs. Thank you, Big Dog, for tuning in, and everybody else in the Fanatics Feedback Zone. Plays by CJ. And who else was here? Ryan
Mr. McCarthy.
And Nicholas Wilcox joining us this morning. All right. We got Ole Miss through to the next round. 3-14 goes Iowa State and Lipscomb. Iowa State's been inconsistent the last 4 or 5 games, but you know what? I don't think Lipscomb has a shot in hell. Going with Iowa State.
Even with Lipscomb being pretty good in their conference, I think they're number 1 against Big 12 teams. They've been absolutely terrible,
and that won't change.
That will not change. The next game, this is my game to watch and my 10-7 upset. I got New Mexico in this one.
New Mexico over Marquette?
I'm going with the Lobos.
The Lobos. The Lobos have been what I call that guy, that team that everyone's going to overlook. And I think New Mexico has that chance to pull off that upset. Marquette's going to make it close, though. I think it's a 1-point game.
It's going to be close. It is going to be close.
And last game is
New Mexico.
Michigan State Spartans versus the Bryant. I don't even remember what the Bryant's mascot is.
Michigan State. Never doubt Tom Izzo.
Bulldogs. Bryant University Bulldogs. So it's Bulldogs.
We go Michigan State.
I'm going Spartans.
Let's stay in the South and pick our Sweet 16. Auburn Creighton. Droid, which way you going?
Call me crazy.
You think?
I think Auburn falls. Creighton has had one of the strongest offensive teams all year long, and some of the most efficient play I've seen up and down the court.
And Auburn is only a one-man gang, in my opinion. I agree with you. I'm going with the Blue Jays.
The next game is UC San Diego versus Texas A&M. A&M's walking San Diego.
A&M will dog walk UC San Diego. Victor, you agree?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Ole Miss, Iowa State. This is going to be your Sweet 16 game to watch. Even if it is UNC making it, it will be the game to watch.
Just overall, everything's leaning Iowa State, and I think I will go Iowa State.
I'll go Iowa State, but it's going to be close.
And then New Mexico, Michigan State. I'm sorry, New Mexico. The run ends here. You will be eliminated by the Spartans.
Yeah,
all with the Spartans as well.
And as somebody's going to notice, or do you just not want a 1 seed in the Sweet 16? No, I genuinely believe Creighton has the opportunity to even make it to the Elite Eight.
I believe it.
But we weren't in the Sweet 16. We were in the second round. This is now the Sweet 16. Creighton, Texas A&M, and Iowa State and Michigan State.
And your final matchup would be?
Again, it's not Creighton bias. It's like the fact that Creighton has done so well in the Big East. I believe UConn's number one, but you look in the Big East, they've beaten UConn, who is, I believe, the number one team. They've lost to St. John's, but they beat Georgetown. They've beaten Butler. They've beaten Seton Hall. Well, Texas A&M has taken big losses to teams like Florida, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, even, and even a big loss to Texas in their last game. I think Creighton pulls off another upset, making them go to the Elite Eight.
So he's leaning with Creighton. This is the game to watch. One of the games to watch in the Sweet 16. I love Creighton's efficiency on offense. Love their efficiency on offense. Can they come up with the defensive stop to take down 4-seed Texas A&M? My answer is yes. I'm going with Creighton. Victor?
I'm going to go the other way. I think they'll have a really good run. Yeah, I think they have a great run, but I think A&M is going to be too strong for them.
2-1. We got Creighton moving on. Next one is going to be probably the closest game of the Sweet 16. Iowa State, Michigan State.
Yikes.
The Big 12 versus the Big 10, the most storied rivalry in basketball history. But here's the problem. You look at the last 10. The last 10 games for each team. Losses to Houston, Oklahoma State, BYU twice for Iowa State. Only 2 losses on Michigan State's schedule. One to Wisconsin, one to the Hoosiers. And they weren't even big losses either. You have a 3-point loss over there against Wisconsin, and I think that's a 5-point loss, or it's a 4-point loss to Indiana. So always within reach for Michigan State, but Houston 59-68, almost a 10-point deficit. 68-74, that's a 6-point deficit. The 2 losses to BYU were the closest ones, but just based off of overall dominance, I got to go Michigan State.
This is a toss-up.
Yeah, it is.
This is a toss-up.
It's a hard one.
Is this where you flip the coin? And the coin lands on the side.
I'm going Iowa State. And I'm basing that off of a pure feeling. I'm going Iowa State.
Victor?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Iowa State too.
All right. I have been outvoted. Iowa State moves on to face Creighton, and that's where we're going to leave it at the Elite Eight for the South as we move on to the Midwest.
Which
starts out with Houston versus SIU Edwardsville.
Joe's going to have a lot of fun with that one, but Houston's number one for a reason. I'm going with the Houston Cougars.
I'm going Houston as well. I think they're tournament favorites even as they are in previous years.
Yep. It's always town.
Yep. Going with Houston. And I'm covering that. I am covering that game in 2 days.
Next game is number 8 Gonzaga versus the number 9 Georgia Bulldogs.
Gonzaga
25-8 overall, 14-4 in their conference. Georgia has a losing record in the conference, only 20-12, with their last 4, with Georgia taking a loss to Oklahoma in their last game.
And this is the battle of the Bulldogs.
It is.
Victor, who you got?
Oh, this is a tough one. It's a real tough one because this is a toss-up either way. But just by some of the inconsistencies I've seen with Georgia, I think I'm going to go Gonzaga on this one.
I think I'll have to agree.
I agree. I cannot trust Georgia, and they're inconsistent.
This ain't football. This ain't football.
Going with Gonzaga.
All right, Gonzaga moves on. Next game is number 5, Clemson versus number 12, McNeese.
I'm sorry, Joe Dumars. This is where the McNeese State Cowboys run ends. I'm taking Clemson.
Yeah, I'll take
I got
Clemson
as well. All
That's
right.
sweet.
Next game is Purdue versus High Point.
Purdue.
Yeah, you don't need to say much on that one.
Boilermaker.
Nothing much to say with that. Next one.
Next one is number 6, Illinois will take on the number 11 seed of the game versus Texas and Xavier.
This one's for Alvin Washington, my good buddy.
Mhm.
The
Yeah,
Going
read my
with-
mind.
Yeah, this is
Going with
going
the
to the
Illini.
ill. This is going to the ill.
Yep. This is for the ill.
This is for the
trusting-
ill.
Next game is the Kentucky Wildcats versus the Troy Trojans.
I shouldn't.
You shouldn't,
shouldn't.
but you're gonna.
I really shouldn't. Really shouldn't.
That is inconsistency from Kentucky all the way in the SEC.
I'm calling the upset. Troy over Kentucky. That inconsistency of Kentucky scares me.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Everything leans towards Troy, not only in that opponent efficiency, which for those who don't know, that's basically number of points allowed per possession. It's just that overall winning percentage for Troy, but I think I'm going to go Wildcats. I think they finally get it together.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to. I'm like, the inconsistency scares me, but I'm rolling the dice. I'm going to go with Kentucky.
The UCLA Bruins versus the Utah State Aggies.
Bruins.
The
only time that we'll say Bruins all the same
yes.
time.
It's the only time, and Joy said it yesterday when we talked about the Lady Bruins. Only time he'll say this is the only time he'll say Bruins. Wrapping up this part of it, Tennessee Volunteers and the Wofford Terriers.
Tennessee.
What is it? Terriers.
Paint that court orange. We're going with Tennessee.
Yeah.
Back to the top.
With only being like 6th in your conference, that doesn't really mean much, especially when you're only 19-15 and only 10-8 in your conference.
I volunteer to say the Volunteers.
And they did take down Furman, who were the upset champions, I think, of the previous year, taking down Virginia.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is Houston Gonzaga for second round matchups. I got Houston.
Houston Cougars.
Next one, Vicola is going to start this one. Close toss-up, Clemson, Purdue.
Oh. Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm going to go Clemson. By a very slim margin, I'm going to go Clemson. I could be absolutely wrong.
Clemson.
I'll sweep it. Clemson.
Next one is the Illinois Fighting Illini versus the Kentucky Wildcats.
And that's where the Kentucky train stops.
I'm going with Illinois.
Same.
Going with Illinois.
It's the UCLA Bruins taking on the Tennessee Volunteers.
And here's where we stop saying Bruins. Big Orange.
I volunteer to say the Volunteers.
The Clemson Tigers in the Sweet 16 versus the Houston Cougars.
Houston. I'm going with the Houston Cougars.
Houston, all right. And the Illinois Fighting Illini versus the Tennessee Volunteers. I think this is where the Illinois run comes to an end. Tennessee is just too strong.
I don't think so. That Illinois defense is savage. Now, this is one where I expect to be totally wrong, but screw it. I'm going with Illinois.
I'm going Tennessee. I'm sorry. Tennessee's just that strong offensive pressure that will crumble Illinois' defense.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to join Jordan on this one. I'm going to go.
All right. We got our Elite Eight from the Midwestern set up. Next up, it's the East. We start with Duke
Blue Devils.
Devils.
Don't have to say anything else.
And then next up is 8 and 9, Mississippi State versus the Baylor Bears.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
I trust Mississippi State. I don't trust Baylor in the tournament. I just don't.
I'll go Mississippi State too.
I would have gone Baylor, but I have to put on Mississippi State. This is not my bracket. This is our bracket. All right. Next up is the Oregon Ducks taking on the Liberty Flames.
Quack, quack.
Quack, quack, quack.
All right. Next up is the Arizona Wildcats taking on the Akron Zips.
Bear down, Arizona. They get it right. Bear down, Arizona.
Yeah, I don't see Akron having enough weapons like Arizona does. So
BYU Cougars taking on the VCU Rams.
Oh, okay.
This is a good one.
Yeah. I'll go BYU on this one.
I'll go BYU also.
Next up is the Wisconsin Badgers versus the Montana Grizz.
On Wisconsin.
Yeah.
On Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
I think Montana has the weapons to pull it off. I just think Wisconsin won't let it happen.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Next up is number 7, St. Mary's versus number 10, Vanderbilt.
Vandy. I don't know why.
I'm going
my
St.
brain's
Mary's.
with Vandy.
I should. I'll skip it. Vanderbilt.
All right, I've been outvoted. Next up is Alabama versus Robert Morris.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
All right, number
I hate
8.
saying those words. Y'all know my football bias, but screw it.
Number 8, Mississippi State taking on number 1, Duke.
Duke.
Number 5, Oregon Ducks taking on the number 4, Arizona Wildcats.
Bear down, Wildcats. Going with Arizona.
Yeah. Easy.
BYU Cougars taking on the Wisconsin Badgers.
Wisconsin.
Badgers shut the Cougars down with that defense. It's always been savage. Going Wisconsin.
Number 10, Vanderbilt taking on number 2, Alabama.
Rats.
Yeah.
I say they pull it off like they did in football.
Rats,
Vandy.
and rubbish.
I got
Exactly.
I'm
going Vandy.
I'm going with Vanderbilt. Going with the Commodores.
The upset. Number 4, Arizona taking on number 1, Duke.
Oh, damn it.
I'm going
Damn
Duke.
it. Bleep, 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 bleep.
I got Duke too.
All right. Cooper Flagg is the man. I've seen him play. John Shire, hell of a player because I watched him. And he's becoming a hell of a coach, following in Coach K's footsteps. This is where the Arizona Express ends. Going with Duke.
Number 10, Vanderbilt taking on number 3, Wisconsin. Gotta go the defensive team.
I trust the Wisconsin defense to stop the Vanderbilt offense. I'm going with Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'll go Wisconsin as well.
All right, we take a move to the west where the Florida Gators take on the Norfolk State Spartans.
Do you even have to ask?
Oh,
bye-bye, Spartans.
Yeah.
The number 8 Yukon Huskies.
I will say that 16-1 matchup is giving me the heebie-jeebies. I don't know why, but it is.
Number 8 Yukon taking on the number 9 seed Oklahoma Sooners.
I got the champs.
All right, next up is Memphis versus Colorado State, an AAC versus Mountain West matchup.
All right, y'all. Don't let me down. Memphis.
I think I got Colorado State pulling off the upset here.
I got C State too.
Okay. Oh, hell. I'll make it since I can change this. I'll make a change and I'll sweep it.
No, I was kidding. I'm just going Memphis because
don't do that.
Memphis is the stronger team overall,
True.
And it's because I'm saving my upset for the next series.
Okay,
which is
Maryland Grand Canyon.
Maryland goes down.
That whack team consisting of Grand Canyon, it's just look at that consistency.
And Grand Canyon loves to run.
Okay.
It's a key
once,
to this.
Once GCU gets on a run, they can't stop.
That's the key to this antelope team. They
run. Grand Canyon.
Next up is number 6 Missouri versus number 11 Drake.
Going with the Tigers.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Missouri's going to look at Drake and say Drake.
Not like us.
Exactly.
Next up is number 3 Texas Tech versus number 14 UNC Wilmington.
I'm going with the
I gotta go T-Tech.
I'm going with the double T's.
Same.
With the double T's.
Go with Texas.
Next
Tech.
up, number 7 Kansas taking on number 10 Arkansas.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Uh-oh. I think I hear glass breaking.
I got Kansas. I'm sorry.
I'm going Kansas too, but I think Snowman's about to break some glass right quick.
Well, let's move on. St. John's, number 2 seed versus number 15 Omaha.
St. John's.
Yeah. Sorry, Peyton Man, but there will be no shouting of Omaha for you.
None.
Omaha! Omaha! Next up is number 8 UConn taking on number 1 Florida. This is going to be a game. I'm going to tell you that.
UConn versus Florida?
I have
First to 200 wins.
I have 3 words. Florida goes down.
You got UConn with the upset.
Yep.
Same.
I trust the champs.
I was going to go Florida, but I guess we're going UConn. Next up is number 5 Memphis versus number 13 Grand Canyon.
I say the Antelopes do it again. Going with Grand Canyon.
I gotta go GCU as well. Number 6 Missouri taking on number 3 Texas Tech.
Ugh, this is ugly.
I got Mizzou, even as a Kansas fan.
Yeah, I got Mizzou.
Because I got something happening.
I go with Missouri.
Next up, Kansas St. John's.
Bye-bye, Kansas.
No, I say Kansas finally finds their footing and will take on Missouri for the border war in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I'm going Kansas as well.
I'm going St. John's.
All right, next up, this is going to be a game. UConn Grand Canyon.
UConn stops the Grand Canyon Express.
Yeah.
I would say that Grand Canyon actually could pull off the upset. It's just mainly if they can stop that running offense of UConn. That's just the big question here, especially for a team for the Big East like them.
That's a very big if.
It's a big if, but I'd say Grand Canyon pulls it off.
I got the champs.
Victor?
I'm going with UConn.
All right, UConn moves on. The border war. Number 6 Missouri taking on number 7 Kansas.
Oh, that's a good one.
Missouri.
Kansas.
Oh, why
Missouri.
you guys leave it to me?
Hey, look, I've been on their campus, all right? I have a little bias with it.
Crap on a crap.
I've been to Fog Island Fieldhouse many times.
Yes.
Crap.
Slim Chicken's best chicken spot in Lawrence.
Why?
Yes.
Y'all live with Tails. Damn. Okay. Screw it. I'm going Kansas.
All
right. The Jayhawks make a surprising run to take on UConn in the Elite Eight, but we go back up to the South for the deciding game. Who goes to the Final Four? Creighton has had one of the strongest and the best offensive all year long, and Iowa State's defense has been very questionable all year long. So I got to go Creighton to make the Final Four.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to sound the alarm. I'm going with Creighton.
Creighton makes the Final Four this year. Next one is Duke, Wisconsin. Cooper Flag does it again. I say Duke.
Leaning Duke.
And then next up, we got Houston, Tennessee, 1-2 over here. This is going to be the closest game. It is almost even in all stats.
It's dead even.
Which one is
in honor of the late great Guy V. Lewis? I'm going with Houston.
I'm going with Houston. They are undefeated in their last 10. But the thing is, they'll be on a 3-game winning streak. So they're on a 13-game win streak. You know how the basketball gods are.
Yes.
They don't like winners.
So I say Tennessee pulls it off and eliminates
I'm
the Cougars.
staying with the memory of Guy V. Lewis and that checkered towel he used to have all the time. I'm going with Houston.
I'll go Houston.
All right. We have 2 1 seeds only in the Final Four. Next up is UConn, Kansas. This is where the Kansas run ends. UConn.
I'm going back. I'm going with UConn.
Yep. Howl, Husky, howl.
This is a Final Four for the books.
Yes.
We have number 9 Creighton taking on UConn. The evenest matchup you can think of in terms of games. This is basically a rematch of that Big East tournament. And guess who beat UConn? Creighton. Right. I think they do it again.
I don't. This is where the Creighton Express ends. I'm going with the champs.
This is a tough one because it is the unstoppable force and the immovable object. But I'm going to go with the establishment. I'm going to go with UConn.
All right, UConn to another. I'm sorry. I'm going to put in Creighton because UConn going to another championship will be rigged. That will make everyone think it's rigged, and NCAA is not going to allow that to happen. You know that.
It's not rigged.
I don't think it's rigged.
People, but you know Twitter. They're going to think it is.
Listen, this is why I love doing college basketball, which I will do tonight.
To be honest, that's sore loser talk. It's because UConn has always been a consistently good school for basketball.
Yes.
But this year they've been so bad.
And they were
bad.
It's
true.
They could be bad, but they're good when it counts.
Yes. Thank you, Victor. Thank you for saying that. Because what he just said was flat out truth.
Duke.
They can have a mediocre season like they've had this year, but when you turn it on for the tournament, UConn's dangerous. So I'm going with UConn.
1-1. Duke, Houston.
Oh, I want to see this one actually.
Fudge.
I want to see that one. That's gonna be really good.
Y'all know what I'm doing for that one.
Oh man.
Y'all know what I'm doing for these two.
So do we go Houston or Durham?
I got Cooper Flag and the Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah, I think you got to.
You have to. I'm sorry, Houston. Going with the boys from Durham.
And the championship game, Duke completely outmatches UConn. I got Duke going to win this tournament.
Same.
And the final score, what do we think the final score is going to be?
I don't.
You say UConn pulls the upset?
I say UConn pulls the upset and makes it 3 in a row.
Unfortunately, it's 2-1. So, but we all have to decide what the final score is going to be. I think it's a 3.
I say 112 to 104.
I don't think it's going to go to that. I think it's closer to what Brian said. I think it's going to be like 81 to 77 as the final score.
I say these two have an outright shooting match.
And this is your Snowman in the Morning champion. Duke Blue Devils win the NCAA tournament.
And that is our picks.
Now,
can you believe it? Now, what are yours? Exactly. Thank you, Victor. Those are our picks. What are yours? Old Droid said Duke runs the table.
Mm-hmm.
I have UConn running the table.
And Victor also has Duke running the table.
He's got Duke running the table.
Yep.
Oh, brother.
The triangle strikes again.
The triangle strikes again. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed those picks because we sure had a lot of fun.
This was a lot of fun.
And
this was a lot of fun.
Droid, you know what? I forgot something. I didn't get a chance to put it in the truck, but I will voice them right now. Our picks are brought to you by Deemed Fit, made by first responders for first responders. Deemed fit to compete, to be well. You're deemed fit for everything. Go to deemedfit.co, use the code SITM, and you, my friend, will get a 15%. You get 15% off of your order. One more break, and then we're just gonna pal around here. Back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BT in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meat beef of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
We're back. Gonna wrap things up with a little fun here. So I have a question for the gentleman on the panel. I'll include my own answer, and this is for the chat as well. Given the many games that you've watched and teams that you have cheered for, what is your favorite ain't that a bitch moment?
Oh, Oakland. Oakland.
Oakland?
The Oakland upset. Oakland upsetting Kentucky. That was like my. Oh, ain't that something?
Yeah.
I actually, you want to know something funny? So the one that was really that type of moment was when I was at the dentist. The tournament was going on, and one of my dentists was like, "Oh yeah, I had a bracket mate." I was like, "Did you know Furman upset Virginia?" You're like, huh?
I got 2.
And she pulls up her bracket and she's like, "Oh, ain't that a bitch?"
I got 2. And it's literally the same play, just in 2 different years. Snowman and I were actually at his house watching the Bears game. We had got Popeye's chicken already set up.
I remember this.
And
but here's the question: Did you get Did you get like a family deal?
Yes, of course. We were watching it, and it was a field goal that went wide left, and the wind took it. I mean, because it was windy.
Look, it was windier and I nearly said it bad.
It was windy.
It was windier in hell when we were trying to drive to Popeyes.
So literally, when the kick went up, the wind took it and spun it.
Yep.
And it was well short.
It sure did.
Nathan Vasher receives the ball, takes off, and goes, I think it was 98 yards untouched.
108.
Untouched, right?
Yep.
Cut back to, I think it was like 2005, 2006. Same play, but this time it's the Giants, and this was in the Meadowlands.
And I was on the road that night.
He's on the road. I'm calling the game to him through my headset.
Mm-hmm.
Giants try, I think it was a 60-yarder. Not even close. Right?
And then Devin Hester.
In walks Devin Hester. And he stops for a little bit, takes like 2-3 steps, and then takes off. Finds a seam, finds some blockers, 108 yards. And literally what I said was, well, ain't that a bitch?
Well, I'm really going to take you back to a classic moment. It's Alabama-Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
The Alabama special teams comes out. They're getting ready to kick a field goal.
I remember this. Dear
Alabama
God.
kicks it. It's up and short.
Short. Yeah.
Hop by the Auburn back, man.
Chris Davis.
He looks to his left and his right, takes off, stutter steps, and he was gone.
He was gone.
And
that's like, to me, it's one of the best. That's one of the best things is when it's like you
Mm-hmm.
can tell as soon as they make that first pivot, you're like, oh, he's gone.
Oh, that was I think another one was actually recently. It was Commanders Cowboys.
Oh boy.
The
Commanders
had just scored.
Mm-hmm.
The Turpin run.
And then it's kicked off. Turpin fumbles.
Cavante Turpin's return.
And I'm like, oh, Commanders got this game. Oh Lord, they're about to make a comeback. This is terrible. Victor's gonna be so mad. He picks it up. One spin move sent everybody going left.
And adios.
And it was history.
When I saw that, right? Because I remember watching that, I literally threw my hands up like, oh my God, we can't.
Oh no, that was on our live Super Bowl. That was on our live Sunday coverage.
Yes,
it was.
I was like,
it was.
oh my God, we can't. And I saw him make the turn, like, oh.
No, you were over here like, and here we go again.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Victor's like, here we go again.
Go again. And then he makes
you thought it was about to be a loss.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, Cavante Turpin does one big spin move down the 50, the 45, the 40. He's gone. He's out of here.
Joe Davis had
Davis
had to call that.
One of my YouTube friends, a guy I watch on YouTube named Bossman Juan. He's a Commanders fan. He went to that game.
Oh my Lord.
He went to that game with his brother.
Mm.
He said he never heard such a loud collection of groans in his life.
Well,
here's one of mine.
1982, Niners Cowboys. Winner goes to the Super Bowl 16.
Mm-hmm.
My teacher at St. Margaret of Scotland, Mrs. Jefferson, big time Cowboy fan.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she talked mess about our teams, you know, whenever she could.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "You know the Cowboys are going to win this Sunday, right?" Everybody's groaning, and I opened my big ass mouth.
Like you're about to eat some pizza.
Like I'm about to eat some pizza or some cupcakes or something. I opened my big ass mouth and I said, "No, they're not." Everybody froze. Like, you doubt Mrs. Jefferson and the Cowboys? I said, "Yes." Mrs. Jefferson is just peering at me. She's just peering at me. And she's smiling at the same time because all of us would kid around with Mrs. Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "You are saying the 49ers are going to win?" You're dadgum right, I am.
Well, at that point, it's like I'm not just saying it, I'm telling it.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you that the Niners will beat the Cowboys.
It reminds me of that everybody hates Chris moment where it's like Bucks Bulls, and it's like, yeah, they got Jordan, but you know that their offense can run circles around Pippen, and then in the show the Bucks beat the Bulls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's kind of how I imagine it.
So I said, okay, if the 49ers win, you bring us cupcakes.
And no homework for a week. You should have said that.
Yeah.
You
always
lost the opportunity.
I messed up, but I was a kid.
You just wanted the cupcakes.
I just wanted.
You wanted sweets.
I have a horrible sweet tooth, and I still got it. She says, "All right, you're on. We're leaving," and I'm going in my mind, what the hell did I just do?
Got everybody cupcakes for a week.
Everybody was coming to me saying, "You better be right about the 49ers winning." I said, "Dear God in heaven, I hope I'm right." I did, man. I mean,
he was like, "Please let me be right."
I did. I said, "Please, dear God, please let me be right for this one, please." Dallas up 27-21, and I'm thinking, I'm a dead ass.
I'm a dead duck.
Because I'm thinking I'm a dead ass.
I'll be stuffing a locker for the rest of my days.
Mm-hmm. The kids are gonna whoop my ass. The teachers are gonna laugh at my ass. And I'm thinking, I'm done. I'm done for.
Mm-hmm. And then,
well, I got introduced. I'm loading the clip now. I got introduced to a fellow by the name of Dwight Clark. I heard his name all year because 81 was the year I started following the 49ers, right, especially after they beat the hell out of the Bears. in week 2, we lost to Detroit in week 1. And week 2, the Bears go to Candlestick Park and get a foot put in their ass.
It always ends up happening to the Bears.
Done it. Done it.
Always happening to the Bears.
It always happens to the Bears. I don't care. My mom said you can't say that. Well, everything going down, I'm thinking we're not going to win. Teacher's going to laugh at my ass. My dad is going to find out about this bet that I made on behalf of the kids and then whoop my ass from Sunday to Sunday.
For gambling.
And then this happened.
Pontiac, 3rd and 3. We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly. Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Caught it! Dwight Clark!
I screamed and yelled all over the house like a maniac. I didn't care. I didn't tell my parents about the bet.
You didn't have to.
I didn't have
to. Well, now they know.
Well, unfortunately,
Well,
they are. They laughing. They laughing in heaven. You know that, right?
Mhm. I know they are.
Your mom's like,
they're watching the show right now from heaven, and they're
watch-
like, that mother.
Exactly.
Your mom's sitting like, Brian, you know good and well you shouldn't be gambling, and Sarge sitting there just laughing like, that's my boy.
Sarge
At
is
least
just
he was right.
You know, Victor,
least he's right.
You've met my father. You've met my parents.
Mhm.
You've met my parents. Sarge would be laughing his ass off.
Yes.
And then he'll pull me aside and go, I can't believe you got away with that.
Right.
I can't believe it either. All right, we got to split. Have a great day. God bless. And remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. PA announcer Gina Rogers joins us tomorrow on the show. So long, everybody. And by the way, we're back. See y'all tomorrow.